Alrighty. What's good people?
How's it going, everybody?
Welcome to another episode of the Adult Deck Podcast, the podcast where you come learn how to stack your cards against the game of life. I am here with my husband and wonderful co-host, Mr. Peter Scott.
What's going on, y'all?
And I am your host and also wonderful.
She's pretty dope, too.
I am your host, Ronnie Scott. And today we are going to talk about your credit.
Yeah, we don't know a lot about that.
No, we don't. I didn't know too much. They don't
teach in high school. You got to pay for classes in college, which we ain't going to do because that's extra classes and extra money. There ain't no free online classes about credit, is there? I don't think so. Why do you got to pay to learn how to use money? So, today's topic.
Today's topic is credit. So, what is credit? So, your credit is essentially an evaluation of like your trust score. How can I trust you with money?
I'm gonna take a snippet from Kenan and Kel. Trust score.
So this is not an official term. This is what I like to.
Okay then.
Right? That's how I like to.
That works for me.
Think of it. It's essentially a tool that's used for creditors, which are like banks, car loan places, not loans. No, it's loans. Credit loans, banks,
car dealerships.
Anybody that's lending you money, they're gonna look at this score and be like, "Can I trust you to pay it back, though?" So that's essentially what your credit score is. Just your evaluation of how likely you are to pay back your monies or whatever you borrow.
Yeah.
What?
I'm just thinking that rich people who probably have high credit score avoid taxes. So how do they really know their real credit score?
And that's the thing. Take this whole thing with a grain of salt, y'all, because
I have a lot of questions. Maybe not. I might just have a lot of facial expressions because the more I learn, the more life baffles me.
Mm-hmm. And that's the crazy part about it. That's what I said. Take this with a grain of salt because there are, yes, researching your credit and researching your credit score, they try to make it seem like it's black and white.
It's
straight line. It's definitely not.
It never is.
It never is.
We're just trying to give you a head start crash course.
Yes. At least if you know what credit is, you'll know how to navigate it a little bit, despite all the extenuating circumstances. And literally everybody looks at it like banks, credit card companies, anytime you're looking to get a house, rental offices look at your credit, when you're going to buy a car, sometimes jobs look at your credit report. They don't do a hard inquiry, which damage. And that's
but if they get wind of sketchy business or financial practices, or they feel like you're not managing your money properly, that's when they'll check your credit score, because there's even a stipulation in my contract. They find a reason in your credit, you can get terminated
for your job. Yeah
It's government for you.
Yes,
because apparently the way you spend your money is dependent on how you do your job.
It's also very interesting when I worked for a small business. Granted, it was a tax firm, but it was a very, very small business, less than 10 employees, and they looked at my credit score. Which, again, that has nothing to do with how I'm going to do my job.
Or the job I'm doing.
Or the job that I'm doing, but they looked at my credit score.
I digress.
So these creditors, that's technically what the banks and all them are called. The creditors, if you do have a loan with them and you pay your stuff on time, they report this to several credit bureaus, but the big three.
The ones that get hacked. Oh, did I say that? I was supposed to be inside. Sorry, continue. Equifax. Sorry, I said that out loud again.
So creditors report your habits, so to speak, your payment habits, to these big creditors, the big three: Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. And of course, I'm sure you all have heard those names. Like my husband said, they the big ones to get hacked.
I still ain't getting my $100 check that they promised.
They not doing that. Too many people applied for it.
I got hacked. I want my money. I don't know if I got hacked. I just put my name in there.
Let's be for real. They should give out 100 credit points instead of $100. Let's be honest.
I can't spend 100 credit points.
Yeah, but it'll stop you from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get you.
Okay. So the credit bureaus use the information, your habits to develop your credit score. And that's a little 3-digit number that comes up and tell you whether you deserve a nice car or a bumpy car.
Either they're going to pay for your car or you got to go to a dealership. And hopefully you can rent a car.
Whew. So your credit report is what's generated. That's the 3 numbers that they use to assess how you're going to pay this back, how you're going to pay this money back, if you can pay this money back, and what process you're going to do it. But your credit report consists of several factors. Number of credit cards and the limits you have versus your outstanding balance. Any loans that you've taken out and their remaining balance. And yes, unfortunately, this includes our student loans. Which is one of those.
A bill so we can sign something off and get rid of that?
Student loans? No, baby.
Hope so.
It's like
about that.
$1 trillion industry. They're not just going to give that money up.
They better. Because let me tell you, millennials, they hard.
If God won't do it, it won't get done. So your credit report consists of several factors: your number of credit cards, their limits, and your outstanding balances, the loans you have and those outstanding balances, including your student loans, unfortunately, your monthly payments and their habits, things you know are your monthly payments.
You pay your bills on time? Is your cell phone bill late? What's going on with that car bill? Did they come and repo that joint yet?
And not even if it's late or not, but like, was it a partial payment? Was it a full payment? Did you pay 25%, the minimum, or did you pay all of it?
Paid? Oh, I did.
That all depends on, but that all factors into your credit score.
Sometimes I just want to be like, I'm here, ain't I? Give me what I want.
And the last thing that is a major factor on your credit score are any financial setbacks, which include foreclosures on your house if you were unable to pay your mortgage. Okay. And the bank was like, all right, give me my stuff back. Bankruptcies, when you just like, I got all this debt, I ain't got no money to pay it back, so I'm declaring bankruptcy.
Yeah, that is literally say, yeah, I got all this debt, I ain't got no money. Your problem now. I'm going to go do something else.
Like, that's literally it.
I'm going to declare bankruptcy on these student loans.
Man, but you have to be like hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt.
Have you seen my student loans?
My student loans,
they're worse, but mine's still bad.
Maybe together we can file bankruptcy. Can you do that as a unit?
Mary, you probably can.
Oh, shit. I forgot. I mean, I realized
you're into this thing, and
it's just like. So essentially, so I'm just waiting for year 5 so we can have a vow renewal. So yeah, your creditors will just look at your credit score just to determine your credit worthiness. Is this high credit worthy or are they low credit worthy? Those are not official terms. That's just how I view it. Credit worthy is an official term though. I mean, and then it's also like, so this is where some of the financial discrepancies come in, because you can have a fair-skinned person with the same credit score as a darker-skinned. I'm not being politically correct. You can have a white person.
Our melanated deficient.
Our melanin deficient. That's what it is. So you can have.
That's all it is.
So you can have a melanin deficient person with the same credit score as a highly melanated person. Mm-hmm. But the melanin deficient person would either get approved, while the melanin
they would get shown a different house versus the overly melanated people.
Yep, they will get lower APR and interest rates.
Like when I learned that, I was like, "What apartment did they not show us?"
What, a balcony?
Also, Brittany was black, so I can't be too skeptical.
Yeah, that is true. But still.
When I learned that,
right.
It's like, what house could my dad have gotten, or what plot of land could they have gotten if they were white? Mm-hmm. Because they probably got a decent one because his name was Peter. But once they
his
saw
application got approved because his name was Peter.
But once they saw him, they were like, plot 13. Here you go. Because we were built on plot 13.
Yikes.
Goes a lot wrong.
Oh, man.
House used to creak.
Look. So there are a plethora of factors that go into you actually being awarded things based on your credit. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, we have to know something about our credit. We have to have you have to know about it to at least know how to get your foot in the door. Mm-hmm. And that's why we're here.
To at least start the journey.
Yep. So call this your...
I honestly wish I knew more when I first got my car. I probably would have got a better car.
Definitely.
At a lower rate.
At a lower interest rate. Because that's what be kicking you in the butt, them interest rates. Yes, you may be credit worthy. Unfortunately, due to extenuating circumstances, you may not be as credit worthy based on something as simple as that. Well, it's not simple as that. It's also prejudices and
pretty simple. They don't like you.
It's prejudice. So, I mean, and credit is not just something that starts when you turn 18 or when you turn 21.
You always have credit as soon as you're born.
It's going on.
As soon as you got a social security number.
I mean, essentially, like as soon as you're born, your credit.
Because let me tell you, some highly melanated people would decide, or even some, melanin deficient hillbillies would decide to get stuff and names that can't legally buy that stuff.
That always baffles me.
So it's like
always baffles me.
You're gonna use your 7? Okay.
Yep.
But she's 5. Okay.
Yep.
You're gonna buy a house? Cool.
So, if your parents were credit savvy individuals, or us as we start to become parents, you can take actions to build your child's credit before they can sign their own name. And some of these could be something simple. So, like me and Peter, he just recently added me as an authorized user on his credit card. Since we're married now, we could do that. If you, as a parent, add a child as an authorized user on your credit card, although they cannot physically spend that money, that is still reported on their credit.
You can even do that without actually giving them a physical card. You can just have them authorized.
Yeah, so like just having somebody as an authorized user without, you don't have to give them a card. They don't have to have
anything
their
physical.
Own thing.
They can even just have a savings account.
Right. However, because they're joined with your account, it now shows positive payments on time, spending habits, things like that. So you start to build credit before they even have credit. Well, they have credit, but you start to build their credit before it can be messed with or played with.
Called a grant?
Describe it.
It's like grandparents would set aside
an inheritance.
Yes and no.
Okay, sorry. Continue describing.
But yeah, it would come as a certificate, but it stays into the bank until.
A CD.
Yes.
Okay, so that's like putting money away and letting it grow with interest.
Okay, but that can still affect their credit, right?
Not necessarily.
We'll come back with that answer.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. I don't know. So while your credit can be built upon and, you can have credit from a young age, majority of us, me especially, didn't know about credit or weren't even introduced to it until you turn 18, graduate from college, and then go to school, immediately sign your life away, which I don't understand this.
Get bombarded with 20 different credit card letters asking you to sign up
as soon as you turn 18. Like literally you get a whole bunch of credit card information and you're just like, if you don't know anything about it, you're like, this is free money, let me just go ahead.
Once that started, I was livid for I wanted back the days where they was like, can you get your parents and guardians to sign this? I was like, you know what? They would probably say no. So, yes, I will do that. But now I get to sign my own. Nah, I'm getting anything I want.
Yeah. I mean, and it's that. And then it's also
credit limit, yes. Oh, I got to pay that back? Why didn't y'all tell me that?
I always knew I had to like pay credit back, but I didn't know how it would affect my credit score and how my credit score would follow me throughout the rest of my life. That's the part that people fail to teach you on. And because of that, you have a whole bunch of 18-year-olds who are going into college because they tell you college is so necessary.
You need that piece of paper.
You need that piece of paper.
Which you can buy off of Craigslist now for like $5.
But that piece of paper is also going to cost $50,000 plus sometimes.
Not if you get it off of Craigslist.
So, I mean... This is what I do all the time. This is what I do with all the time. This is why I can't keep a train of thought.
Just saying, man.
Gosh. But yeah, so essentially your first introduction to credit, if anything, before you're even introduced to credit, you're introduced to the idea of signing up for a loan without knowing how those repercussions would affect your credit. And also,
sign up for all these loans to college and you don't know what you're doing.
You don't. Who knows? I wasn't taught about credit or loans or what was going to go on. My mom didn't know. It's a revolving
hey, you
cycle.
Just grant from the government. Okay,
grants don't have to be paid back. Loans do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's credit in a nutshell. It's going to follow you wherever. Creditors use it to evaluate how you want to pay this back, when you want to pay it back.
Y'all, they will find you.
Your likeliness to pay it back.
Find you for that money. Because I was one of those dumb 18-year-olds that signed up for a credit card you had no business signing up for.
A GameStop one, I thought.
And one, thought you were smart enough to finesse the system by raising your credit limit and they never find you. And two, they finessed you. You got that money back.
I would say that's the thing. You always think you finessing some big company, but really you the one getting finessed.
Like, all right, here's $250. Oh, you want another limit? Here's $500. Oh, here's $1,000. Oh, another one. You got to pay all that back now. Damn.
So yeah, just let's talk to our young people about credit, our younger people about credit.
Talk to our young people. Let's talk to our schools and board so they can put credit classes in high school.
Yeah.
Because
it's all a part of financial literacy.
You shouldn't be preparing for college if you're not preparing for finances.
Agreed.
Honestly, that should go hand to hand.
Yeah.
Because not only your loans, you got to learn how to pay bills for yourself, manage money,
manage your food
with
your drinks and your other stuff.
Like, you got to know how to use money and use it properly.
Yeah.
You got to understand what a check is, what's a checking account, what's a checking number, what's a routing number,
or you got to know if your bank has any fees that are going to come out of it, and what are fees? Like, how does interest work?
Man,
like, when does that happen?
When I found out that one of my back when I first started school, I had a Capital One banking checking account. I didn't know that you had to always have $75 in your checking account, or they're going to charge you.
Really?
For having an account. Just to hold money.
Wait.
Yes, it's just a checking account to hold money, and you had to keep $75 in there at all times.
That's banks do that more often than not, and I think that is sick, because it's like, you see that I don't have this money in my account. I'm opening
this with no money.
Why are you gonna charge me to keep money in my account if you can see that I don't have money in my account?
No money. That's why I went to credit unions, because you don't gotta do that.
No. But credit unions check your credit.
Yes. But also, they don't really care what type of credit you got.
They really don't. I had like a 5 something when I opened my bank account.
They really don't care.
So there are 4 types of credit. There is revolving credit, which is credit that can carry over from month to month. So it's like, you can use it.
Rent?
Huh?
No, I'll let you explain.
So revolving credit can be carried over from month to month. That's like, so say you have a credit card and you use it down to $250. You have to pay back $250 essentially on your credit card. That $250 can be rolled over from January to February to March to April without you paying it. It can just keep going. So that's revolving credit. Charge cards are credit cards where the balance has to be paid before it can't be carried over to the next month.
So your standard credit card.
No, not necessarily. Well, Maybe
more standard credit cards are like that, where you got to pay off your balance within the month, or they're gonna you get charged that, I guess, account fee or balance fee or whatever.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I'll have to do some more research on that just from my own personal knowledge.
Well, you never had to experience because you always paid off your Discover card.
Well, no, so Discover is like a revolving credit. It's a revolving credit card. On? Yeah. So if I didn't pay the $250 that I owed last month, it'll carry over into this month, and then that.
But with no extra charges or anything.
No extra charges or anything.
Okay. Capital One is not like that. If you don't pay it off, you gotta pay like 10%.
So you have to pay the whole balance
every month.
Every month. Mm-hmm. So that's a charge card.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
okay,
where were we?
So there are 4 types of credit. You have your revolving credit, which is credit that can be used and your balance can be carried over into the next month. So say you owe $500 on your credit card for January.
Keep owing that until you pay it off.
You can keep going. It'll keep going until you pay it off. No charges, no interest fees. However, you may incur a late fee, which is different from just the actual fee.
Okay. Yeah, that's the interest charge.
Right. So there's a difference between a fee and an interest charge. Charge cards have to be paid off by the end of the month. So you got that same $500, you gotta pay that at the end of the month.
If you don't, that's another $50.
That's a whole nother charge just because you got that money sitting there.
So now you owe $550.
And
if you don't do it by next month, $600.
Keeps going. You have service credit. So 3 is service credit. Service credit are things like your utilities, you going to the gym, your phone bill. So these are like contracts.
Definitely, I looked ahead. That needs to change. Because when I tell you I paid my phone bill on time, look, that was part of my credit. I have
that's the thing. Some stuff does not. I jumped ahead. I was gonna say, you read my notes.
I previewed. Saw next week's episode. Look, I just black community. It's a trap.
So number 3 is service credit.
It's a trap.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Number 3 is service credit. For a while. Service credit are things, like I said, like your utilities, light, water, your rent, phone bills, gym memberships.
800, y'all.
Any type of membership, anything that, man, your Savage by Fenty, all of that.
Subscriptions.
All your subscriptions are service credit because they are saying, hey, we'll provide you this service under the good faith that you'll pay us later. So your phone service provider provides you service throughout the month with the belief and the agreement that you're going to pay them back at the end of the month for the month previously. Same thing with your utilities, gym memberships, all that good stuff. You can use us all throughout the month and pay us back, and pay on this
date every month.
Yep. And the what Peter got upset about, the tricky thing about this is that they do not report the on-time payments and things like that. They don't necessarily report those to the credit bureaus.
You know why?
However, let me finish talking.
Reported my rent.
However, so it's weird because they don't report it as like towards your credit score, but they still show that history in your credit report.
Yeah, they also look at your history and your payment patterns.
Yeah.
Put that all in the number.
It doesn't go into your credit report unless there are like serious delinquencies.
Are y'all getting a headache? Because I am.
Yeah, right.
It's confusing.
A little bit. I'm trying to like make it.
No, I'm keeping up.
Organized.
I'm just frustrated.
But just credit in general, like we're gonna have to have another episode about this and about finances in general, because even when I was researching this, I have like 20, not legitimately, but I have like legitimately like 5 different articles that I read through to try to get this information. And get it together. The last credit type is installment credit. It's simply a loan. Personal loan, student loan, car loan, house loan.
Oh, they make sure they report that one.
That you are going to pay in installments. So you have an overall loan for $5,000. They saying, all right, you are going to pay
$50.
$50 month one, $50 month two, $50 month three. Same. You're paying in installments until your loan is paid in full. So you know what credit is. You know what your credit score is. How it's found.
The different types of credit.
Now let's talk about tips to improve your credit. So definitely. And this comes from personal experience. For me, I was not managing my credit until I started looking at it often. And some places charge you to pull your credit report. Like, it's information about me. Why are you charging me to pull my credit report?
Yeah, to hit your credit report just to look at your credit report.
Sometimes. But yes, a lot of companies, when they do an inquiry, a hard inquiry. I
didn't learn that until I was going to get a car.
Yep. When they do a hard.
He asked me the third time. It was like, you sure you want to do this? You know it's a hit on your credit score every time we look at it. They go, no, just give me the first one. Shit.
Yep. Sometimes when creditors look at your credit report, they do a hard inquiry, and that results in negative points on your credit report because people are looking at your credit report. Although you need your credit report to be able to get a loan. Yes.
Finances, y'all.
Yes. This is why we have this show, because adulthood is bananas.
It's so much easier in Canada.
Bananas. No, baby, I think this is everywhere. So monitor your credit score and your changes regularly. I use Credit Karma. I hope y'all sponsor us, because I use you faithfully and my score has gone up 100 points since I've started using it. I'm just bragging on myself for a second because it has not been easy.
It has not.
So download Credit Karma, put in your information, fill it out. And with Credit Karma, you do not have it's not a hard inquiry. So you can look at your credit report, you can look at the factors that change it, and they break everything down for you, which is great for me. Tells you how many loans you have, tell you any delinquencies, tell you if you could report this and get it taken off your credit, which is the same thing credit repair people do. Just saying.
Cutting in. You can cut this out. Just saying it for your knowledge. My credit score went down a single point. Can't think of what changed other than I got married. So, deal with that.
Wait, recently?
Yeah. Like, time has went by, everything followed up and everything's caught up. So
I think it also has to do with you adding me as the authorized user on your credit card. Mm-hmm. So
what you're saying is I got married.
I mean, yeah. I love using Credit Karma. I like it. It is very simple, very easy, and I can just pull it up every other day and look at it if I need to.
Some banks have built-in credit watches that doesn't hit your stuff.
They do, but Credit Karma does Equifax and a TransUnion report, which are one of the major big three that they look at, or two of the major big three that they look at. Whereas if you look at your credit score from a bank, it could be like a FICO or something that's not one of the big three, and they're not as stringent. The big three is what people look at. So please, y'all download Credit Karma. I didn't know what my credit score was until I started looking at it. And then once I started looking at it, I was able to see, okay, that makes a difference here. That makes a difference there.
If there's one thing I do like about it, is it breaks down what is being brought into consideration for your credit.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So it'll show you what you actually need to pay off for it to get better.
Right. Second tip to improve your credit: pay your bills on time and pay them regularly. And yes, this includes your student loans. Pay your bills on time, pay them regularly, pay them. I'm going to get there later. Because I think I know what you're about to say. It's somewhere in my notes. Oh, yeah, right here.
Actually.
Okay. I stand corrected.
Hood fact.
Hood fact.
I'm going to preface it with that.
I was just, hood fact.
But I've heard it from multiple different black people. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes we need hood facts. Let's be for real.
It makes a difference because so it's okay to be a week late or 2 weeks late, but make sure you pay within 2 or 3 weeks because it'll show improvement in a sense. So it'll see that, hey, a few days late, but they paid it in full.
Oh, true. If you're saying against me not paying at all.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. I see that.
So it means they'll watch it and they'll see that pattern. And they'll see that you're a few days late, but it's paid in
But
full.
you're still making a full payment.
So it'll go up.
That's a really good tip.
That's kind of why I had at least a decently high credit score.
Because you were still paying.
Yeah. I purposely, like with my car note, I've always paid it 2 to 3 days late. And with my cell phone, I pay within the month. But I paid in 2 different installments. So.
Okay. That's a good tip.
Hood fact.
Hood fact. So that's one. So make payments regularly, even if they do have to be late. Still make your payment. And student loans are a pain. There are plenty of better words that could be used to describe it.
But we're trying to be better, y'all.
Yes, we are.
It's a struggle.
I got a potty mouth. So, however, with my student loans, or with plenty of people's student loans, especially in the midst of this coronavirus era, pandemic, whatever you want to call it, put your loans into deferment. Now, a lot of people will not say that this is a good idea. However, hood fact, it is.
Come back, credit score up real quick when you need it.
See, and that's the thing. So deferment, when you put your loans into deferment, it stops the negative reporting that you're missing a payment. So essentially, when you put your loan into deferment, you're saying, hey, I can't pay this right now. Don't expect me to make payments right now.
You're being honest.
Don't expect me to make payments right now.
You can keep calling me if you want. You're still not getting this money.
If you put it into deferment, you won't get those calls.
That's what I'm saying. So you wouldn't get the calls.
Yes. Putting your student loans into deferment stops the collection calls, and it stops the creditor from reporting a negative non-payment on your credit score. So sometimes your credit score does go up because it's not consistently reporting that you ain't pay us. Put your loan into deferment. It'll help you if you need a little breathing room, if you need to get yourself together.
Just beware, the interest charge is still there.
The interest still collects interest, although you're not required to make a payment.
Yes. Just want you to be aware at the end of this, you still may owe more than you originally started out with if you do it this way.
Yeah.
But also, if you're looking to move out,
yeah,
go ahead and put that joint in deferment real quick.
Would you rather have the leeway now or the leeway later?
It's like, look, as long as I got to play to sleep right now, I'll worry about this later.
So, be smart with it. Just know the deferment is an option. I didn't know the deferment was an option until...
buddy.
Literally like a year ago.
I found that out real quick.
I had no idea. But
watch your credit card jump.
Like a year ago, and it was literally just like, I'm still not making payments. I can't. I'm still collecting interest whether I'm making a payment and it's being reported to my credit union or not. You still getting that interest.
Yep.
So it definitely gives you a little bit of breathing room. Do it if you need to do it. Is this either third or fourth tip? I forgot our numbers. Next tip, keep your credit card usage low. So, a big factor that I didn't know until I started using Credit Karma, friends of the podcast, that how your credit usage, which is essentially the amount that you have spent towards the available credit you have versus your overall credit.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you use like 90% of the credit that you have available, that's a very high usage. And if you don't, so say like your overall, and this goes like any store credit cards, any regular credit cards, all of it into one lump sum, and however much money you have that you owe up close to that sum.
Okay. I'm very high then.
You are extremely high. I looked at it. And also when you added me as an authorized user, it made my credit score go down because of how high you are. But that's something we'll work on together because we're married and I take the good and the bad.
Hey, she know what she signed up for.
So sometimes, so keep your credit card usage low because this is another factor that goes into you having a higher or net or lower credit score that affects your, fluctuations. The crazy thing about this is that sometimes if you open up another credit card, even if it has only like a $500 limit, yes, you will have to take that hit to your credit report because it'll be a hard inquiry. However, your credit card usage will be lower because you have more credit available. So although you didn't spend any more money, so like say...
So if it was already high and you opened up another one...
And don't spend anything on it. So let me put this in numbers.
I hear what you're saying.
You see?
Okay.
So say you have an overall credit of $2,000 and you've used up to $2,000. You've used $1,500. If you open up another credit card with the $500 limit, it now takes your overall credit from $2,000 to $2,500.
Right. 2,500.
Yeah.
I don't math well.
I don't either. I was struggling with numbers. So that's how that helps. It makes your overall usage lower because you have more credit available to use.
Yeah, they know how to get you, man.
They know how to get you. Just make sure it's a revolving credit card.
Good, but in the grand scheme of things, they know how to get you, man.
It's literally do you want to be shot in the leg or the face type thing. Like
Sheesh.
And last major tip from me, consolidate all of your debt into one large loan with one large lump sum. So say you have like a $150, outstanding doctor's bill here, and you like another $300 late on your car payment, all this other stuff. You have all these little amounts.
Yeah.
If you get a personal loan, you can pay off all those little amounts, which will show that you've paid off these debts. Positive.
One focused debt.
And now you have one place to focus where you can put all of your efforts and all your money into.
So does it really matter how much money you're in debt for or how many different sources you're in debt to?
Both.
Thought I figured it out. Thought I had to answer.
It's both. So all the little closures will be able to show that you have a high rate of paying off your debt, but now you also have a loan. It's just like...
Just make this simple, man.
I mean, it's just one way to compound and make your goals easier.
It still makes sense.
Yeah. Right?
Which one should I focus on more? Having different sources of credit? Or just having high credit? But it's like, neither and both.
Neither and both. Either or. Sometimes.
I'm going to start saying neither and both.
Neither and both. Mm-hmm. The major key here is do not, please do not borrow more than you need to. do not.
Somebody told me that years ago.
Man, look, you are going to be in a world of hurt. Do not get a $50,000 car just because you qualify for a $50,000 car. Go ahead and get that $25,000 Honda that you could pay off in 3 years. Like, that is major key when it comes to credit. So yeah, y'all, that's all I have. Please take this into consideration. If you don't do anything other than this,
it's not even a 101, y'all. This is credit 100.
This is just the intro course, the syllabus day.
Look, man.
Just if you don't do anything, at least download Credit Karma so you can see what you have to work with. I think a lot of issues and a lot of people's downfall is that you don't even know what it is. I didn't know what my credit score was until I started looking at it more often. I was just like, oh, it's going to take a hit. Even when I opened my bank account, she was like, well, this is going to be a hit to your credit report. I was like, all right, cool. And she was like, your credit score is 500. I was like, well,
get it done, lady. Let's go.
Okay, what does that even mean? I'm here for a reason. Like, can I open my bank account or not?
You going to explain this? No? Then open my account. Can I put this $2,000 in my account or not?
But once I started looking at it every day, not every day, but once I started looking at it more often and seeing what made a difference, what didn't make a difference, it helped me grow my credit score. My credit score is not as high as I want it to be.
It's where we needed to be.
But it's definitely getting there, y'all.
It's where we needed to be at the moment. It's going to get higher.
It is going to get higher.
We need a house type of credit.
Hello. We're going to get there.
But where we are, it's a good start.
It is a good start. And we got there.
We're getting better at it.
By taking these steps.
You can also check out the descriptions. We'll have some of the sources where we got our information from so you can have a more holistic view.
Exactly. If you want to go and look at some of these articles to get a more in-depth.
Here, not here. Gotta remember that.
Just to get a more in-depth look as to what we brought to the table. Do some homework. And I think that's it, y'all. That's it. So download Credit Karma if you don't do nothing else. CREDITKARMA.
Don't borrow more than you need to.
Do not borrow more than you need to. And have a solid plan for how you're going to pay it back once you do borrow it.
It's been real, y'all.
See you later. Bye.